am here just as your guide and community leader in the Generate Facebook group. And do me a favor, like seriously, do me a favor today. If you're watching this, go into the Generate community and add a couple people, right? There's like an exchange of value going on here. For free, I am going through this book, Lead Generate 61 Days to Double Your Pay, and giving you some of my thoughts because frankly, I just want to do my little piece to help the economy get going and help people that are fully commissioned, business owners, salespeople, get them motivated and going again and get a couple more deals, because one of the best things we can do to serve our country right now is stay healthy with our family, stay healthy in our community, and then get the wheels of the economy rolling again. So this is my little ask of you. This is the exchange of value, right? This is my way of giving back to you in the economy and my community and the bigger community at large. But what I have to ask from you, oh, and I think my internet connection just got unstable. What I have to ask from you is please go into the community, add some people, ask a good question, right? Like if you're a salesperson right now, if you work on fully commission, you've got some question right now that you want answered, right? Whether it's about what CRM should I use, or, have you read a great sales book lately? If you've got a question that will make you a better salesperson, a better business owner, put it in the group. Like we've got a couple thousand really smart people in this group that can help add some value. That's it. So let's move on to the day. So today's day is day 10. We're talking about day 10 in this book. And this is super important. This is maybe more important in COVID-19 than this has ever been. Know where your clients come from. Know where your clients come from. Know where your clients come from. Back on day 2, if you weren't here then or you didn't see that, back on day 2, I asked you to at least start a Google Sheet or an Excel spreadsheet if you were not in the habit of using a CRM. If you haven't done that, I'm serious. Stop as soon as this call is over and go start that spreadsheet. My example in day number 2 said that, and we talked about this a little bit, that at some point in the future, the size of your database might become more important than the quality of your work. Recall that even if you have 5 times, or you are more, recall, if you are 5 times more likely to close a deal, but I have a database 6 times larger than yours, I still win. I'll still close more deals with a bigger database to my 2. Obviously, the size and quality of your contact information in your database is the number one most important factor when it comes to using data as a tool. However, a close second is being able to track who and where your leads are coming from. This in turn allows you to evaluate the quality and not just the quantity of your referral sources. Do personal introductions convert better than online leads? Does Yelp create more dedicated clients than Facebook ads? Does Zillow convert better than Commissions Inc? Do sending out, coupon codes for your business work better than putting a sign on the side of the road? Does John appear to be your number one referral source because you guys talk all the time, but really when you dig into the data, Jill is actually a more valuable referral source because she's converting a higher percentage of her lead and closing more of those deals. So these are things that you can only evaluate once you're tracking all your incoming leads and databasing your referral sources. I reference a friend of mine in this book who is and was and still is a referral source of mine. And I went to this referral partner because we were good friends, right? We enjoyed double dates together. We watched boxing together. We had a lot of business lunches, and we spent a lot of time gossiping about other referral partners, what's going on in our business, making dirty jokes, talking about transactions we had closed. However, at one point during, I think it was 2015 or 2016, I looked back at my lead tracking and saw that halfway through the year, this referral source, my buddy, had only given me about 1/3 the number of leads that he had provided me in the same time period the year before. So, I love hanging out with the guy socially, but I went to lunch with him and we had this conversation with quantifiable knowledge. Like, hey, here's what we've been doing in years past. Here's what we're now doing year to date. Like, what's going on? I just want to check in and take your temperature and see what's happening. And I'll tell you, 5 things happened when I was able to have that data-driven conversation with him. And by the way, if you're watching this on Facebook, do me a favor, start a watch party, click the like button, leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously click the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. That helps us out. You know, it makes me know that this altruistic venture is worth doing because people are actually watching. So when you have the data and you know where the clients are coming from, there was 5 things I was able to do in that conversation when I realized that leads were starting to fall off, right? 1, I was able to have a serious fact-based conversation with this referral source about maybe why he wasn't using me for business anymore, what was going on, had the market changed. And instead of anecdotally being like, oh yeah, I'm doing plenty of business with that guy because we talk all the time, I was actually able to say, no, something's not right? Number 2, I was able to show this person who had become a friend and a fan that I was serious about my business, right? Like, even though we get together, we could tell some dirty jokes and talk about boxing and gossip about the other people, you know, that we knew personally, that this was still a business relationship, right? That I was tracking the numbers and that I was a professional and he was a professional. Number 3, I was able to bring something to this person's attention that he might not have yet been willing to understand about his business, or maybe he wasn't tracking his business, or maybe he was having a downslide in his production that he hadn't yet come to grips with or understood. So I was able to maybe give him some heads up or coaching on what's going on and how he can make things better. Number 4, and this might be the biggest one, by having the data and then being able to have the conversation, I could have peace of mind, right? Instead of seeing monsters on the bed and be like, oh, well, why doesn't that person ever come back to my restaurant? Or why does that person ever refer me anymore? Or why haven't I heard from Billy or Dan or Davey or Susie? It's like, well, no, I can just go have a conversation with them and be like, hey, you know, I was kind of reviewing my data for the quarter or for the year. And, you know, these are some trends that I saw. Just was wondering if I could have a conversation with you and just check in about what's going on with our business relationship. Let's go grab coffee, right? And number 5, if something was identified, right? If we went out to that lunch and he said, hey, you know what, Scott, at the end of the day, I'm just not doing the same amount of business I used to, or, you know, we had a deal go sideways and instead of you being my go-to guy, I've now kind of opened it up to 2 guys, whatever the case may be, or whatever the answer may be, it allows me to make an educated decision of, okay, cool. I don't have friends just for the sake of getting referrals from them. You know, I don't have all usury relationships, but maybe there was some defining factor there. Like, if we weren't going to be working as closely with each other or generating as much business together, then maybe I need to reserve that relationship for Saturday night boxing, getting together, you know, with his husband and my wife and watching some sporting event or have a Taco Tuesday in the evening. But maybe that doesn't need to take up as much time during my business hours, right? Because maybe there's not as profitable or deep a business relationship there, and I need to work on repairing it, or it is what it is because he's just not doing as much business anymore. Maybe I can buy him a book to help him out with some coaching in his business. But when you can have factual, data-based conversations, and look, I'm not saying you have to become a whiz on Salesforce. I'm not saying you have to run spreadsheets and pivot tables and calculations on, you know, down to the 3rd decimal point on where your leads are coming from. I'm just talking about, you need to be tracking where your people are, where your leads are coming from, what deals are converting. A couple little notes will go a long way, because then you can go back quarterly, biannually, annually, and be like, okay, here's where my business is coming from. This is where I got to put my most effort, right? And just think about the businesses right now coming out of this pandemic and out of COVID-19. And I'll leave you with this thought. I think the ones that are going to survive and then thrive are the ones that know where their clients came from and who their clients are, right? Because if you can go back in time and be like, man, these are the people that supported my business, whether those are the super fans that come into your restaurant or your bar, you know, once a week or twice a week instead of once every 3 months, or whether that's for us realtors and lenders and financial planners and insurance agents, you know, the people that refer us the most business to business sales, whatever that relationship is, when you can go back, check in on those people, see how they're doing. Hopefully you've kept in touch with them over the last couple of months. If you haven't, start today. keeping in touch with them, letting them know that you're there to serve as we come out of this pandemic. That's how people are going to take off, solidify their business, make sure that they're surviving, and then use that core base of super fans, super clients, super users, whatever you want to call them, to really accelerate and take off. Because some businesses aren't going to make it, but the people that are watching this series and contributing in this group, I want you to make it. So make sure you know where your clients are from. If you're one of the 10% of business professionals who have actually adopted a CRM and you use it every day, all day for every client with every transaction, maybe this conversation isn't for you. But if you're the other 90% of us that have never been able to fully adopt a CRM, then you've got to have this spreadsheet or this Google Sheet to make sure you're tracking where your clients come from. Hey, do me a favor. If this conversation was valuable, or you know other people that need to be tracking where their leads come from, do me a favor, tag them in this post. Like, look, this is all altruistic. I have no advertisements coming. We're not selling anything. If you're a realtor, add a bunch of other realtors you know. If you're a lender, add a bunch of realtors you know to this group. If you're a title rep, add a bunch of insurance agents you know. If you're an insurance agent, add all the business owners that you know to this group. We really want this to get some momentum and make sure that we're helping people generate the career, the business, the leads, and frankly, the money that they need to in order to survive, thrive, get the economy going, and then have enough money where they can make great donations to the community they live in. All right, guys, I love you very much. Scott Groves here, and we'll talk soon. Later.